Welcome to Trailer Trashing, the podcast where we review movie trailers. I'm your host, Joey Rinaldi, and joining me as they do every week is Charlie Wainchuk, our executive producer, and my lovely, amazing, hilarious co-host, the funniest guy I've ever met, Derek Blythe. How you guys doing today?
Yeah, I'm hungry. I smell bad. Need a shower real bad.
Hello, America.
Hello.
Now that we're all... Hello. So now that we're all here, I'm so excited for this week's topic. We're reviewing original theatrical superhero movies. We're going way back. We're opening up the vault for this one. I'm so pumped.
The vault?
Yeah, because it's old movies. It's like we have to
Yeah, the vault. I forgot that we had this installed in each of our brains. We had a special surgery where they put like a old time movie vault in our brains.
Yeah, anything when they want, like for instance, ESPN showing clips of like Michael Jordan, so they're like, from the vault, we're showing you Michael Jordan. We're kind of doing that, but with superhero movies. It's like, I think other people.
Love a good vault.
Derek, you understood the joke, correct?
Which joke?
I understood the joke too. I like a good vault. I was excited about when you said vault. You got me excited.
All right, so I'm really excited for these superhero movies because superhero movies in general are kind of ridiculous. And the further you go back, the more ridiculous they are. And the first movie we're going to watch today, I kid you not, it's called Superman and the Mole Men.
Right on.
Sounds pretty good.
That's the bad guy. The bad guys are mole people.
Yeah, I feel like that's classic.
Chuds. Cannibalistic humanoid underground dwellers.
Oh, right.
Yeah,
Chud.
I'm pretty sure it's because like after like World War II when they dropped the A-bomb, everyone was just like, mutants are going to grow from the ground because of the bomb.
Yeah, I mean.
That sounds like Nazi propaganda. We will make the Jews hide underground, and in 100 years they will emerge as a new species. We will need the super Aryan man. Is this too edgy for pods?
Too edgy for podcasts.
No, too edgy.
No such thing.
TEFP.
So there's something fun I love about this. So Superman was played by George Reeves, and that got me really excited because I thought it was the Parallels guy, but that guy.
Oh, I was gonna ask, who's the one that fell off the horse?
That's Christopher Reeves. So that means
he also was Superman.
Yeah, I know. There's been multiple Reeves in the Superman like legacy. If your last name Reeves, odds are they're recruiting you for Superman.
Whoa, I know someone whose last name is Reeves.
Dude,
this really good piano player, Nat Reeves. Reeves, he's awesome, great guy. Maybe he's gonna be the next Superman.
So I don't believe anybody knows about this movie. Like my dad, who's a diehard Superman fan who claims to know everything about Superman, had no idea this movie existed. So I'm gonna give a little
it's before his time.
Yeah, there's a little plot of what this movie's about. Reporter Clark Kent and Lois Lane are set to do a report in a small town called Salisbury, Kansas, because an oil driller discovered there's mutants. And that's the mole people.
So, yeah, they're going out there for the reporting, but, like wink, wink, he's Superman.
Yeah.
The first Superman movie ever is he goes to some random town.
Yeah, it's not even Metropolis. He goes to a random town as a reporter.
Like Tremors.
What's that movie?
Tremors with the worms. Kevin Bacon.
I've never seen that. I thought you were just saying that it was like having tremors. Is that?
You guys don't know Tremors?
I've never seen it.
Dude, my mom doesn't let me watch Kevin Spacey movies. He's against our religion.
Kevin Spacey.
Kevin Bacon,
you dingus.
I also don't watch Kevin Bacon movies. They're too provocative for me. The way he dances is it's too much.
Yeah, Joey's not allowed to dance, so they don't let him watch Footloose.
You would love watching him fight giant worms.
Yeah, that actually sounds like a sick movie.
An amazing series.
Wait, it's a TV series?
No, it's a movie, but they made a bunch of them.
Okay, I think it's just time to finally watch this puppy. Can we get the trailer for Superman and the Mole Men? Give it to me.
Wherever the target is danger, into the fray leaps the mighty man of steel, racing with supersonic speed to exploding excitement, bolting fearlessly into violence and villainy. No human onslaught can stay him. Super invincible, zooming out of the skies and crashing through into the very teeth of hair-raising peril. A towering hero booming with super action. sworn enemy of all evil, smashing through. His only shield, his super body. At every turn, slamming into breathtaking hazards, the superhero of them all. Faster than a speeding bullet. More powerful than a speeding locomotive, leaping buildings in a single bound. It's a bird, it's a plane, it's Superman, fighting for truth and justice. See the adventures of Superman.
Yeah, that was awesome.
Oh man, I want to watch that. But imagine seeing that trailer and then he just goes to a town and fights mole men.
That trailer did not give you anything about the movie, which I'm not okay with. Like, I'm kind of okay with it because it's not about.
There wasn't one mole man in the trailer.
Yeah, it's true.
No, but I kind of appreciate the trailer though because they realized what they had to sell. No, it was the first Superman movie ever, so they didn't really need to sell you on anything except for the fact that
Superman.
And they just leaned into it. They were like, "We got Superman, and that's it. Come and see Superman."
I really liked. I liked the classic Superman introduction line, which felt very classic in this too. Like leaping buildings in a single bound.
Faster than a speeding bullet.
Yeah, that part was awesome. The rest, I was like, what the heck is going on?
He crashed through a lot of walls.
The dinner.
Yeah, he crashed through a wall and stole breakfast, and then he grabbed the toast, stood in front of a toaster, and the toaster exploded. He's never made toast before.
Never made toast.
Freaking alien.
I'm giving it a lot of leniency here because it's from 1951. So I feel like it's kind of like, yeah, they didn't really introduce anything other than like his abilities and it was confusing, but they did get the whole like slogan down, like speeding bullet, single bound, check for me.
It was really, really entertaining from an early 50s trailer.
Yeah,
it's what you want from an early 50s trailer.
And like the reason why I'm really glad that they like introduced the cliches of him like diving and jumping and flying is because in this time period there was not a lot of action movies. This was actually the first ever DC comic book feature film. So
I would say that it's different that it's a superhero movie though. There's definitely a ton of action movies.
Well, Charlie,
those are timeless.
Charlie, don't cut me off like that ever again. I was in the middle of an amazing point. This was going to be legendary. And now I don't even know if I want to even say the point anymore. I was juicing. I was like a locomotive. I was going down the track and he just totally threw me off course. I almost killed an innocent baby.
Give me the facts.
All right, the facts is this. That at that point, I don't think they ever saw a movie where a guy flew before. Like right now, I've seen 1,000 movies where there's flying people. So the fact that they actually had a shot of him flying in the trailer as a 1950s Joey, and even as a 2020 Joey, I'm all in. I want to see this movie. I'm about it. I'm giving that trailer like a 7.9.
I would watch that movie. I feel like after the trailer, I would totally watch that movie.
I would watch it just to see these mole men. They weren't in the trailer. They must have been either really good or really bad.
Yeah.
Looking at these.
They didn't even talk about the mole men.
It's just introducing Superman. Like, hey, 1951, have you ever seen any crazy shit like this? This guy can fly. He can look at water and it torpedoes it. He can look at a buzzsaw and it makes all the blades retract. I guess that's what happened in that scene.
He'll ruin your breakfast.
He can crash through your wall and take your toast and you can't do shit.
I'm going to give this like a 6. But I enjoyed it. It's a good 6, not a bad 6.
Yeah, I'm going to give it, as far as a trailer alone, like a 7.5.
I agree with that.
The movie is probably terrible, but the trailer is really good.
The trailer is amazing.
It's a lot of fun.
Did they have Rotten Tomatoes back then? Did Rotten Tomatoes exist yet?
But Rotten Tomatoes rates everything. But you want to hear how old this movie is? This movie is so old that
How old is it?
That these characters, like this version of Superman, actually is following the timeline of a Superman radio show.
Whoa, it's like anime and how they follow the manga, but like prehistoric.
So this was like the movie for the radio show Superman that then became a TV show. And it's really messed up because the girl who played Lois Lane, oh wait, what's her name? Lois Lane.
Lindsay Lohan.
Lana Del Rey.
Lindsay Lohan. Yeah, the girl who played Lana Del Rey in this movie, they didn't cast her for the TV show. They casted everybody else, but they were like, we need someone hotter than you. No offense.
Wow. The 50s are
a
canceled.
true face for radio.
You know how old this movie is?
How old is it?
Yeah, it's so old that back then Rotten Tomatoes were just like bad fruit.
Almost ripe tomatoes. That's when America was great again.
Wait, Derek, that's so funny that you said it's a face for radio, because they literally replaced the actress who played Lois Lane in the movie, and in the TV show they replaced her with the radio voice of Lois Lane. They were like, "You're so bad that we'd rather have the radio girl than you."
Oh dang!
Wow.
So
that's like really insulting.
That's
There's
the most
nothing
insulting
worse
thing.
than an ugly woman. And that is the
That's
official,
when America was great
official
again.
statement from Trailer Trashing LLC.
Yeah, LL Cool
There's
J.
nothing worse than an ugly woman. Sorry, ladies.
Stick to radio.
God, I'm probably gonna end up with a radio voice one of these days. Derek, because of last week when you were calling me that bad word that I don't want to repeat.
The biggest loser.
Oh no!
Biggest loser.
I'm trying to
Biggest
avoid it.
loser south of the
Loser.
equator.
All right, well, because you traumatized me, I decided this week I'm out of Rotten Tomatoes. I don't even want to play it. And because we all tied this week, I really want a winner. And to ensure that we have a winner this week, no more Rotten Tomatoes for me. I'm just gonna host the Rotten Tomato game, and I'll be the one who presents the reward of the show. But I don't want to be a part of it. I don't want you ridiculing me anymore. You literally threw me out of my favorite game. How does that make you feel?
I feel powerful.
Just you and me now,
Yeah.
bucko.
Alpha.
So
Look at me. But I am the captain now.
Dude, also
Well, I
it
guess
kind of
Joey's
makes
the captain
sense. Yeah, that's Joey's the captain. It makes sense though, because last time when we all tied, you were like, blame it on the system that makes it so possible. And it's like, you know what? It's true. Having 3 people winning a best out of 3 is kind of a bad idea.
So we changed the system. I'm out of the system. I am the system now. I am the man.
He got tired of losing.
Oh my God.
Big
Being the
loser.
biggest loser.
Please stop doing that voice. Let's just give me your Rotten Tomato scores, damn it.
My perfect Australian. Did we? Can you confirm that there are Rotten Tomatoes on it?
Yeah.
Retroactively? Okay.
There's retroactively like the Mole Men.
I'm going to give it like a 40.
Yeah, I see.
Can't be that bad, but it can't be anywhere close to good.
Totally. Like, it's like, I don't know how to think about this because, like, I gave it so much leniency for being from the 50s when I watched the trailer. And it's like, it's kind of like, it's definitely not going to compare with, like, I don't know, like the Batman series with
Adam West.
or like anything like, anything like, it's so old, it's like hokey, you know what I mean? So I'm going to give it,
Yeah, it
I'm
has
gonna
value
give it,
in that.
like, yeah, it's true. But like, that's a different kind of value.
Yeah, that's. These aren't irony scores. Rotten Tomatoes not for irony. That's Mystery
Yeah,
Science
not for
Theater.
irony.
Yeah, Rotten Tomato. They're not funny people. Well, sometimes they have funny critic consensus, but that's it.
I'm going to go ahead and give it a 30. What did you say, Derek?
40.
And Charlie's the big loser because Derek was right. It's a 36. He was the closest. You suck,
Oh.
Charlie. Derek, I still don't like you, but I respect you for having the winning answer.
I'm today's
You're a
big winner.
bastard, Joey. Joey, you built that up, and I like put my hand in the air, and then you said is the big loser. You're like, and Charlie, and I was like, yeah. I was sitting there like, yeah, and then you said I lost.
Joey, can you give me your best Australian today's biggest loser, please?
Charlie is today's biggest loser.
Oh my
All right.
god.
Well, that was like
You're-
I don't know how, but that was racist.
I don't do voices. I hate Australian
That's
men.
you. What?
I hate Australian
Christ.
men.
Christ.
Oh
Charles,
no!
Okay, let's move on to the.
Oh
We gotta
no!
move on to
Mole
the.
men. Go ahead.
We need to move on to the review. And because we got to move on to the review, I got bad news. We don't have a Roger Ebert review for any of these movies because as old as Roger Ebert is, these movies came out way before that guy was reviewing shit. But I have a clip that Charlie you should play. Click on the clip that I sent you and go to
Siskel and Ebert.
And go to 3 minutes in. There's a soundbite of Ebert talking about it. It's around the 3-minute mark.
I've never heard his voice.
Superman. He's going to sound like that. Just like Superman, it's just not a lot of fun.
Yeah, go to Charlie, 3 minutes in.
I'm on it. Ready? Here you go.
The first time.
As we're about to see, but they're bad in a way that shows that somebody was really trying. They didn't have any money to make a rocket ship, but they made the best rocket ship they could. I like that is the spirit that's been lost.
All right, end it.
Wow, I've never seen. That was him?
Yeah, good-looking guy.
That's that whole series is them like, I really enjoyed Kevin McAllister, but it's like, can this kid really make all these gadgets? And, if you have a brick on your head, you probably got some permanent brain damage. I'm going to get it a 5 out of 10.
Wow, I would love, after that, I got to watch it.
They're great. The best, look up, just a year in the 80s or 90s, and then look up, Siskel and Ebert worst movies of that, and they do an end of the year just shitting on movies for 30 minutes.
Do you think we'll ever get to be like them?
No! Get out of here. Those guys are legends.
Siskel and Ebert of trailers. I can see it now.
I can see it now.
Trailer reactions.
We're like the Bare Naked Ladies, and you just said, do you think we'll ever be like Led Zeppelin? Come on, grow up, Count Chocula, Peter Pan.
Can we at least be the Bare Naked Zeppelins?
The Bare Naked Zeppelins. Just a cloud of gas.
It's a Led Zeppelin cover band that only plays the songs in the style of the Bare Naked Ladies. I kind of would love that.
Yeah, you would.
I hear it in my head. Picture them doing Dire Maker, but in that, if I had $1 million voice, I hear it.
Oh, I'm going to throw up, I think, from that.
Okay.
Yeah, I hated that, Joey.
So
wait,
I found us a review.
What's the review?
Should we
that
read
was
this?
It?
No, there's a review right here of Superman and the Mole Men from Lippert Pictures Inc., which I've never heard of.
Lippert Pictures in the newspapers. Your one source for the 1951 moving pictures. Here comes the review.
This is a review from 1951.
Yeah, I know. They gave it 2.5
stars.
Whoa.
Yeah, we should read this. That's really cool.
Yeah, Charlie, read it up. Lay it on me.
I'm going to give the last paragraph because that's what I do for the Ebes. So,
you mean Bobby Ebert?
Yeah, Bobby Ebes. This is the last paragraph from 1951. This is an old paragraph. As Lane, Coates is a suitably tough cookie ready to take a swing at her male attackers, and the manly Reeves brings warmth to his iconic characters. The action may not be world class, but Leonard Maltin's movie guide misremembers it. Superman does fly. Wow. They're coming back at some other guy who, wow, how do you forget that?
Leonard Maltin? Leonard Maltin was alive for this?
He was not only alive, but he forgot that Superman flew in this movie and wrote something saying that he doesn't fly. One shot is animated and one is live. The famous whooshing sound effect is in place, and Reeves' takeoffs and landings were already convincing. The Man of Steel also gets to bend a rifle and deflect bullets at the Mole Man's ray with his chest. Sholem also anticipates later sight gags by giving a hobo a double take at the fantastic feats of Superman. Wow. This, movie reviews have always been the same, coming at you, giving some reviews. I like how my favorite part was how they were talking about how realistic all of the action
convincingly lands. And watching it, we only got a second and a half of him flying, but at this point in time, green screen wouldn't have been a thing, so it's like a projection behind him.
I heard on Wikipedia they said they actually launched it out of a cannon. No,
that's wrong.
I'm kidding.
I'm just happy from the review to learn that the Mole Men have ray guns. So they have they have technology.
Cathode ray tube. That's the kind of TVs they had back then.
I think they have really racist Jewish accents.
I hope.
Dude, everyone was really fucking racist in that time period.
Oh,
the movies were racist. The music were racist. The porno was racist. It was all racist.
It's crazy.
Wait,
I was
Derek,
trying to think of like how old my grandfather would have been during this, and I think he would have been like 14.
Really?
So
You have a young grandpa, man. My grandpa was
He's
born in
like 82.
1932.
Yeah, he's
My
37.
grandpa was born in 1932, so he would have been like 20 at this time.
I don't even know my grandparents. I'm so jealous of you guys.
So I'm just imagining him in
My
like
condolences.
I don't know when he learned English, but I'm imagining
Superman?
him in like swampy
your grandpa.
Louisiana finding a nickel or something and going to see Superman. I gotta ask
Where's
him
he
about
from?
that. Louisiana, but he's Cajun. They didn't speak Cajun until they didn't speak English until that his school like hit him until he knew English.
Whoa,
that's not even
crazy.
an exaggeration. The nuns hit him until he knew English.
My grandpa
Cajun is a dead language now.
Used to get beat up for being Jewish in the 30s and stuff. Well, he was a baby in the 30s.
That's his fault for being Jewish.
Yeah, it's because the mole men.
Don't take any sound bites from this episode, anyone, please.
Is there any Cajun superheroes from Louisiana?
No, the most I can think of is like the Cajun version of Christmas stuff. So they just took like all the songs and all the like night before Christmas, like they just made
spiced
it.
them up. They
just
Cajun
made
style.
like Cajun versions. I'm sure there is a Cajun superhero, but it's just like night before Christmas, but like they live in the swamp and like Santa Claus is in like an airboat with 8 alligators or
Really?
halamagators. Yeah, I'll send
This
you
is
the
real?
link. It's a lot of fun.
That's wild.
And the gators are named like Boudreaux and Bozo and Thibodeau. It's a lot of fun.
That's
Dude,
awesome.
I would love if Derek starred in the movie Cajun Man and the Mole Men, and it's just the
Cajun
same.
Superman.
And it's the same exact movie, just Derek speaking Cajun fighting these mole men.
They wouldn't have mole men because there's no good. They would be like nutria. Do you know what nutria are?
No, tell me.
They're
It's too swampy
gigantic.
out there.
They're gigantic swamp rats in Louisiana.
Oh, Cajun Man versus the Swamp Rats.
Yeah,
I love that.
Superman versus the nutria.
So that is the conclusion of the talk on Superman and the Mole Men. Now we got another movie. So remember how I said Superman and the Mole Men was the first ever theatrical feature film of DC Comics?
Yes.
So we're going to watch the trailer of the 1943 Batman, and I know what you're thinking. That's before the Superman movie. I can explain.
I was thinking that
Not
exactly.
DC.
I can explain. No, Batman is DC, but this movie that we're going to watch
everything though
is a serial movie. So there's basically 15 chapters, and like every week they would show a new chapter of the movie in the movie. So it's basically a TV show that was in movie theaters essentially.
Wow.
Did it take place like before a full-length movie?
I don't know. Yeah, maybe full-length movies.
Because that's like how Looney Tunes started and stuff. The little beforehand thingy.
But this was like the first live-action Batman that made in the movie theaters. It was a pretty big deal.
Okay.
You had to do the Larry David, didn't you?
Had to do the Larry David. And I'll give us a little background on this movie before we watch the trailer. This movie is Batman. Listen how great this is. Batman is a secret agent for the U.S. government, and he's assigned to defeat this Japanese spy, Dr. Darko, who's operating in Gotham City during the height of World War II. Darko has recruited all these American traitors as henchmen to help him stop Batman, I mean.
Oh, this is already going to be racist.
Oh, you know it. Everything that they made was propaganda for like the country we're in at that point. Like, I mean, I had a weird childhood, and most of the content I was allowed to watch on TV was from this time period, like the 50s and after, like, you know, black and white. And pretty much like I would watch like a ton of the Three Stooges, and like everything from like the World War II era was like really anti-Japanese. So they would like, there was like this one episode that I distinctly remember where they were like walking around trying to find someone who was like hiding, and it was like this kind of scary thing. I was so young, so I don't really remember so many details, but I do remember that they were like, it must be a Jap. We got to find a Jap. and they were like hunting a Japanese person, and that was the entertainment.
Oh my god. Yeah, I had like a book from my school library in elementary school, I'm remembering now, and it was written in that time, and they refer to them as, I don't even want to say, they referred to them as slant eyes. It's like some kid growing up in the 40s during the war. And so
I thought slant eyes was a vagina.
It's just a whispering eye.
No. So I remember checking this book out in my elementary school and reading it and like getting excited reading about the war and stuff and like pretending I'm in the book and my mom's making dinner and I'm like, look out, Mom, the slant eyes are coming. And she was like so mad. She was like,
Wait,
but
don't
imagine
ever say that ever.
Imagine
cool.
living in a world where everyone is reading the same stuff and also reacting the same way to it, but it was like no one's mom was like, don't say that. They're like, oh, very well, darling.
Derek, I love that.
Very good, yes.
Derek, I love that your mom is from Louisiana and got mad at you. I'm glad there's some good people in the South.
Well, that's it's pretty messed up. Take a lot of offense to that.
Yeah, come on. You're talking shit about the South. I don't.
We're dirty swamp people, but you know we're modern dirty swamp people. I can say that, and not you.
I did not mean to offend you. Before we watch the trailer, there's one more fun fact I feel like we all have to hear. You know why in this movie Batman is a secret agent?
Right.
Why?
Because it was illegal back then to produce movies that showed characters that took the law in their own hands. So the only way they could legally have Batman be a superhero is if the government was in cahoots with him.
Vigilantism.
No, anti-vigilantism.
Vigilantism.
So without
right,
without further ado, let's fucking watch 1943.
Yeah, no more ado necessary.
All right, I'm doing it.
I've had quite enough ado, thank you.
All right. I'm done with the do's, the don'ts, and the dadas.
Dr. Decker, humble servant of His Majesty Hirohito. By divine destiny, my country shall destroy the democratic forces of evil in the United States to make way for the new order. And the page, step up to him. Slap his face. Step back.
Are you devil?
There's so much to unpack here.
Yeah, that
So
was
much.
really just not badass at all. I just have to say,
he's just like a fat guy.
yeah.
Fat white guy.
The
He's like
first thing,
45.
I myself am not the most into superhero movies. However, Batman throughout my whole life has always been my favorite, and I've seen mostly all of like the modern Batman movies. I've seen like all the ones with what's that guy? I can't
Christian
remember.
Bale.
I've seen those, but I'm talking about the ones that were directed by in the 90s.
The Tim Burton ones?
Tim Burton. Yeah, I love Tim Burton.
With George Clooney.
But what I'm saying is that you go into a superhero movie and it's like, especially my friends, I have some friends that are into superhero movies and they're always like, I want to watch a movie with like a really jacked, badass main superhero character. And like, if that's what people who like superhero movies are looking for, this is not that at all.
No.
Dude, so let's start off with the bad guy, Dr. Daka. He
Dr.
was
Daka.
he was a
A lot.
white guy. That was a white guy trying really
You
hard
don't-
to squint his eyes. Really,
You don't have to tell
guy.
me that was so clearly not an Asian person.
I don't know if that's more racist or less racist than having an actual Japanese person. He's a white guy squinting, not makeup, squinting,
just trying his best to squint.
dressed as Gomez Adams doing a Marlon Brando impersonation.
Yeah,
And
it was
that's
so
his
clearly
Japanese
not an
accent.
Asian person. And here's the thing: what I was saying before about how I watched a lot of like TV and stuff from like the 50s and like early black and white stuff. I used to watch this show when I was a kid called Charlie Chan, and that was a mystery like show where like Charlie Chan was this detective guy who was like, you know, some sort of Encyclopedia Brown type who could always solve the case.
Yeah,
and
I've heard
he
of
was
that.
Japanese. Yeah, and it was a white guy playing a Japanese guy, and they used makeup on him, and I was like convinced as a child that was an Asian person. When someone told me, I was like surprised. But this was like not. It was just a normal, like a normal white looking dude. Like they didn't make him up or anything. Like Charlie Chan, they like put like the mustache and like made him up to look like some sort of Japanese stereotype. This dude did not look like anything other than like anyone else who was a white guy at that time period. He was
looked
just
like
doing a bad accent.
Yeah, it looked like a Cuban guy or something, and who just like made zombies to line up and slap Batman.
Wait, guys,
Yeah, it was.
I just looked up quotes from the movie. There's a quote when Dr. Daka reveals his big plans, and Batman responds, "That kind of plan fits the color of your skin." That's so
Wow.
bad.
Oh,
Well, I mean,
no.
it's like pretty on par with everything from this time period. So, I don't know. But yeah, it was pretty wild to
Yeah,
see
so
it.
to recap the trailer, if you didn't watch it yourself, it's just Fat Batman tied up by a guy who's not Japanese, who claims he's Japanese, making all these people, even a pretty girl, beat up Batman. But then Batman kind of saves the day, but
He
at
falls
what
off a building.
he saves.
Yeah,
he does fall off the building.
He
And- but
rolls
he's-
off a building.
Like, even though he saves the day, he comes across so racist that they're like, "You're not even our hero, even though you did save our lives, you racist asshole."
Well, that was very heroic back then. People found that to be very heroic.
To be racist.
Yeah, oh yeah, dude, come on. This is the 40s. Also, I think it was funny because it was the seriously pajama superhero people. Like he was wearing like the least badass superhero suit
Super
I've ever seen in
wrinkled.
my.
It
Yeah,
was-
it was just pajamas.
It was PJs. It wasn't even lingerie PJs. Like he's not making anyone turned on by that. And normally, a man in a costume gets me sexually on. You know, put on a fireman suit or anything, I'm in it. But like what Batman was wearing was embarrassing. It honestly, it's like when you go to a school play and they didn't put any money in the wardrobe. That's what that looked like.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, it's like my 5-year-old. Like,
You have a kid?
No, it's my personal 5-year-old experience at Halloween in a Batman
Yeah.
costume from Walgreens.
Look at how much technology has improved. Back then, that the type of like they're able to produce this technology now for children. That's how the technology has come.
Just imagine like someone getting out of Batman 1943 and going into a time machine and then walking into Avengers Endgame.
Oh my God, they wouldn't handle it.
They would vomit to death.
That's badass. Now
Now that's pretty badass. I don't care who
that's
you
way
are.
more badass than either of the superhero movies you just watched. Is vomiting to death. That is actually the plot of one of my favorite band's albums. Is called Murder of the Universe by King Gizzard and the Lizard Wizard. If you were looking for a recommendation while you're cooped up in quarantine, that is an album about this guy who makes a machine because he's a robot and he wants to be able to vomit again, and the machine goes crazy and fills the universe with vomit and destroys the entire universe.
Derek, Charlie, I love that album so much. I listen to it when I brush my teeth. I listen to it when I eat dinner, even when I jerk off sometimes. It's my favorite album.
Glad to hear it. It's a great album.
Never heard it before, but I will do all those things to it later tonight.
I really hope so. Are we doing the next one now?
No, we didn't even give it the rating. Let's rate it. I'm giving that a 1. I'm giving it a hard 1.
This is a hard metric. If I rate it well, am I racist?
No, because I
if
gave
I
the
rate it
Superman
badly,
one.
did I not get any emotional or entertainment value from it? I did. I had a lot of
Yeah.
entertainment value from it, educational value as well. So, how do you put that into a number between 1 and 10?
This is what I'm thinking. I gave the last one. I was really entertained by the Superman one, and I didn't have any like issues because there was not really any like overt racism. But I it wasn't by any means a good trailer for a movie, but it like got leniency points for being from the 50s, and this is from 1943. This is like almost fully 10 years before that. So like you
A
have
different
to
America.
Yeah, it's like you have to adjust for inflation.
All right, I love that we're really thinking about this and taking our time with it. But
The more I think about it, the harder it is to make.
just give me a rating.
Give it
Close
a
your
5.
eyes and just
Throwing
shout
out a
it
5. 5 it is.
Give it a 6 out of 10.
I'm giving it a 1. I hated that fucking trailer. And now give me a Rotten Tomatoes.
You got no value out of it?
I got 0.
Yeah, come on.
I don't believe
Joey.
you hated it that much.
You bastard.
I hated it. It was awful. When I go to sleep tonight, I'm gonna just be angry in bed, thinking, "Why did I watch that dumb, stupid trailer?" And
I thought it was hilarious. I mean, like it was
funny.
not cool that they're racist back then, but it's not the 40s anymore. Like it's different.
It was very. It was so on the nose. It was like if I was making a show right now and we had to cut back to a racist thing someone did in the 40s, it would be like exactly the same beats as that trailer
It's
had.
like a time capsule. It has value in that it's a time capsule.
Charlie, I'm gonna give it a 1 because I'm all about the TNA. And the last movie trailer, Superman, his Superman suit was so tight you could see all of his muscles. This Batman, he didn't even have muscles to show off in the hot suit. And the suit itself wasn't even that hot. I love TNA. No TNA. Giving it a 1. I stand by it.
Neither tits nor ass.
Yeah, I basically have a running tally of how many times Joey has said he's hard while he's watching these movie trailers, and it's high, very high. So I guess if Joey's not turned on, he's not.
Yeah, I think that's Joey's scale. It's the 1 to 10 horny scale of these trailers.
Yeah. So do they have Rotten Tomatoes? Is this something? Is this
everything's on Rotten Tomatoes. Give me a Rotten Tomato score, motherfuckers.
I'm gonna go. This has got to have like a 30.
I'm gonna go for like 12.
What did you give Charlie?
I said a 30, which I feel like Derek's probably.
Derek is today's big loser because that was a 61. Charlie came closer.
Wow.
You
wow.
61?
It was a 61. You suck.
Wow.
How does that feel?
I guess you can watch something like this and like it for what it is. You don't have to be like, if I like this, I'm racist, because it's not how it works. So if they gave it a 60,
then they're racist.
Yeah, they're racist.
Again, there is no Roger Ebert to go along with this, but we found some sort of trailer and not review. I mean. Charlie, can you read us something from this review?
Is this the Batman? Oh, yeah, it has to be the Batman review.
I hope it's the Batman review.
2 words, Batman.
Okay, here it is. The Dick Grayson Robin character was terribly cast and detracted from the whole movie. Bruce Wayne Batman was slightly better, but a little silly for the role. Neither showed any real athletic ability during the entire 15 chapters. Of course, Batman and Robin capture Dr. Daka in the end of the film, but the film itself lacked any of the charm that the Adventures of Captain Marvel by Republic Films had. All in all, this was a dud of a series that also ran very long at 15 chapters instead of 12. Well, what do you know? They didn't like it.
Okay, so, yeah, how the hell does it have a 61% if even 1943 audiences didn't like it?
Is this from 1943?
Oh, I assumed as much. I don't have the link.
I think this is some sort of, like, retroactive review.
And that's the only problem they had?
Yeah, I guess so.
Was that he's a fat piece of shit?
Yeah, he wasn't athletic enough.
Daka was amazing.
Yeah, I think to be fair, if you're going to review this, you have to just take the bad guy as he is. Like this was like in 1943. This is like the World War II wasn't even over. So like this is just like, you know, there is a lot of American propaganda in media and like things
Makes
people
sense.
watch, especially back then.
Even in recent memory, we have South Park, like Team America, World Police, where every Arabic person just says Durka 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 Muhammad Jihad. So that's in the last 20 years. So
yeah, and like say? American Sniper, any type of war movie. These are all propaganda.
Oh yeah.
Anything with Bradley Cooper in it is probably propaganda. I stand by that statement.
I you know what? I stand by it too.
But
Derek, you got to get behind us on this.
Yeah, all right.
Bradley Cooper's a propaganda machine. Silver Lining Playbook, it's a whole movie trying to convince you to kill Arabs.
What's going on?
That's the tagline. Before we move on to Spider-Man, I do need to tell you guys a few things I learned about this movie while I was researching it, because this stuff is too good. This movie was controversial when it came out, because I guess in all the comic books, Alfred is fat and clean-shaven, and this one made him really skinny with a mustache and attractive. And they were like, we can't have a good-looking Alfred. And, like, people were pissed about it, yeah.
The original Alfred was not like, because I feel like everyone knows Alfred to be skinny with the tuxedo and the pencil mustache.
Oh, this movie changed the game.
Whoa.
This movie invented 3 things that has stuck in Batman history. The first one was Alfred being skinny and a mustache. The second thing they invented the fucking Batcave. The Batcave was not in comic books. This movie invented that.
Are you sure?
Okay, Spider-Man 1977 invented the Batcave?
No, I think he was wrapping up Batman.
Yeah, I'm wrapping up Batman. And this is the last fact. I think I told you guys this already. It's too funny to not share with everyone. They didn't have enough money to make an actual Batmobile. So they just bought a black convertible Cadillac. And whenever Bruce Wayne was driving it, the convertible top would be down. But then when Batman was driving it to make it the Batmobile, he would put the top up. And that was the Batmobile.
Wow. Hey, well, you got to do what you got to do.
This was Watch Mojo's top 3 things that Batman 1943 reinvented.
Yeah. I mean, that's pretty. It's like cars are super expensive to like for anything. So it's like, it's kind of crazy how sometimes movies literally have like a fleet of cars as props. It's like most people just have one for transportation.
You know what I'm just now realizing?
Yeah.
The actor that played Batman was probably a fat piece of shit because everyone in shape was overseas fighting the war.
That is a good point.
Those heroes,
like
truly
even actors, they were all drafted.
Yeah, like Elvis.
This was the best they could do. He was the Leo DiCaprio of Hollywood in 43, probably. Everyone else was dead.
Is the next one Spider-Man? Is that what you said, Dan?
Yeah, we're making a huge change. We're switching from DC to Marvel, and Marvel's first ever theatrical superhero movie came in 1977 with Spider-Man. And this movie,
nothing better than mustaches from the 70s. I have high hopes for the facial hair.
And guys, this movie actually is a TV movie, but it counts as a theatrical movie because all around Europe and Australia they played it in movie theaters.
Well, good to know.
So without any further ado, should we watch the trailer of 1977 Spider-Man?
Yeah, I'm ready. No more ados for me.
I'm pretty hard up. I'm jacked up. I'm ready to see some shooting webs.
The world's favorite comic book hero, followed by 84 million readers a year. Now, he comes alive. For the first time on the screen, you'll see it all. The spectacular adventures of the amazing Spider-Man.
He can do the things a spider does, climb walls and spin webs, and he's very, very strong.
You've heard about him. You've read about him. Now, you'll see him in action.
Kill him.
No challenge is too great. No enemy is too strong. The most popular, most daring, most exciting superhero in the entire world. At last, he comes alive for his most incredible adventure. Now, Spider-Man takes on a madman who's turning the streets into a siege of terror. More and more people are being mysteriously hypnotized into threatening the entire city and destroying themselves. Look up high as one man does the impossible. He uses all his fantastic spider powers to battle the most evil forces ever imagined. Astounding live-action excitement. The super adventure of everybody's favorite superhero, Spider-Man. Now, he lives.
Wow. Okay.
Okay,
He can do the things a spider does. Climb walls, spin webs, and he's very strong.
I can't believe I gave Batman a 1 because whatever Batman was 1,000 times better than that trailer we just saw.
Yeah.
That trailer,
As a trailer itself, it was not good. I didn't like all of the weird. They had like 5 things on the screen at once, and now not so much necessarily to do with the trailer, but I think something I attribute to Spider-Man is like he's kind of witty, not maybe like a Deadpool, but like he's always like kind of talking to himself and saying like some catchphrases.
Yeah, he's a funny teen.
Yeah, so this lacked that entirely, and it seemed like a lot more like he was like actually like a spider, which I guess makes sense. But he didn't. He was silent, and he would like stick to the wall and wait for someone to come over, and then he would kick him in the face. And I was like, "What is going on? Like this is like not badass."
Wait, I can tell you why there's no scenes of him talking. It's because they couldn't like have the right equipment to like have somebody mic'd up, I guess, while in a costume. So all the talking parts of Spider-Man is when he's not in the costume.
That's a very 70s problem.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I feel like they could overdub and it would be fine.
Yeah, they chose not to do it for the movie. I think they figured out for the TV show that this movie was like a pilot for the TV show.
He also looked super wonky. Did you see his face when he was standing up straight?
No.
His eyes looked crazy. They were like going separate ways, and also like the walking on the walls did not look very realistic at all.
That looked bad.
Yeah, it looked terrible.
It's like they put no energy or thought into that trailer, or maybe the movie itself. They were just like, we just got to give people Spider-Man somewhere or another without thinking about it. And honestly, as Spider-Man's my favorite superhero of all time, and that if I saw that movie for the first time as my intro to Spider-Man, I would never ever like Spider-Man. I would hate Spider-Man.
I'm a Batman guy.
I'm a Spider-Man
but
guy.
I agree that this didn't make me like Spider-Man anymore. But I'm going to give this trailer, I'm going to give it like a 3. This is the worst trailer, I think.
I'm giving this another 1. 2 1s in one day.
Also
But
give it a 3.
Oh,
That's
that
right.
movie, that trailer was so bad. If you didn't see the trailer, you don't have to. It was just a guy trying to be Spider-Man. It's like when your little sibling or nephew dresses up as Spider-Man for Halloween and like he tries to do Spider-Man stunts, but he doesn't know how to do Spider-Man stunts. That was this movie. That movie was just that, essentially.
Yeah. I mean, I think that it was like very strange, and like I think they made the suit wrong because it made his face look wonky. So I think they probably did try really hard, but like that it didn't work out.
Okay, I'm reading about the movie right now, and I'm going to give you just quick stuff to let you know how shittier this movie is. First off, Mary Jane, not in the movie. The love interest is some lady named Judy Tyler. I've never heard of Judy Tyler before.
Judy Tyler.
Who
Judy
the
Tyler
fuck-
puts out. Mary Jane doesn't.
Maybe that's what it is. Mary Jane's a good girl. This girl's kind of a slut. Who knows? The bad guy in this movie.
If you keep telling us how bad it is, we're gonna like have some sort of idea of just how bad it is. You know what I mean? I feel like we're tied up here. This is for all the marbles. I just want to guess because you know my score for Rotten Tomatoes is only getting lower with all these facts.
Wait, let me give you one more thing and then I'll stop. The bad guy in this movie is a guru. I don't even know if gurus have bad bones in their bodies, but he's a guru who can mind control people. And in the description, it goes, he can mind control people, even doctors and lawyers.
Oh no!
That's a threat to American way of life.
Biggest bastions of mental fortitude are nothing compared to this guru, who I assume is under the employ of Wilson Fisk. It looks like.
Oh, Mr. Fisk!
It just showed a businessman in the trailer.
I thought it wasn't Fisk from Daredevil.
I don't know, but he's like Spider-Man's big. He's
Maybe it's from the same. Yeah, I don't know. We'll have to look this up later.
He brainwashed people to commit suicide. He couldn't kill people himself, but he could make other people kill themselves.
Murder's illegal.
Yeah, you don't want. He's not breaking the law by doing that.
You can hypnotize someone. If you persuade someone to, then that's illegal. But if you hypnotize them, then you're good to go, friend.
Yeah, bud.
Bingo, bango, bongo. Belgians in the Congo.
Give me your Rotten Tomato scores. We're all tied up, and I want to know what you guys did.
I'm going 25.
Derek?
61.
I think you guys tied.
How?
The score is 42.
And he said 61, and I said 25.
Oh, I guess Charlie wins.
I win.
Does Charlie win?
That's right. 25, I said, and you add 20, you get 45. Which is math. I think I win. Yeah, I think I won. I win this one.
I think you guys need to jelly wrestle in a pool full of jelly in order to find out who actually wins.
I think you just made that up.
Oh man, 6
That's
feet
not
apart.
A thing.
Yeah. All right, I have a selfish fantasy. I want to see you guys in a pool of jelly fighting. I don't know why you won't let this happen. It could be fun for all of us.
That's true. I don't think it wouldn't be fun. So, maybe once this quarantine is over, it might be. You have to try it. Give it a shot.
I don't have to.
All right, just read the review, and I'll leave my fantasies out of the podcast from now on.
Yeah, get your dirty mind out of here.
Okay.
I
he does everything a spider can do. He can climb walls, he can spin webs, and he's really strong.
That is the whole movie review.
So Robert Ebert doesn't do this one either?
Robert Ebert doesn't do it either.
It's a shame. Okay. All in all, Spider-Man 1977 is a fun film. The plot is decent and well-placed. This sounds generous, especially given that this film was made to be chopped into smaller episodes. Hammond is engaging as Peter, and he gets to show off much of the traits that make Parker likable as a character. The villain manages to be more realistic than the usual rogues gallery and still has enough menace to create tension. Sure, the special effects aren't particularly special, and you can see how at pains they were trying to limit the amount of Spider-Manning that goes on in the film. But it ends up being a good time. Certainly wasn't as painful as Captain America's pilot movie. Oh, well, that I'd like to see a Captain America.
Yeah, we really shit on this trailer, but I'm kind of like, I feel like I can assume this is like a TV spot for this movie because of how horribly bad it looks. And 1970s TV is so awful.
It's so awful.
Like, it somehow looks worse than 60s TV because they were so desperate to have colors in it so quickly. That just, it's like all of 70s TV is so unwatchably ugly. I think this is a victim of that. Like if it provides any perspective, like this is the same year that the first Star Wars came out. Yeah. So, maybe it's okay.
Yeah, bad special effects were super in back then.
Yeah. Derek, you have a face for 1970s TV, if you know what I'm saying.
Yes.
I'm saying you're ugly because you just said 1970s TV is ugly. Yeah. Oh, I cannot.
Not cool,
thought you
man.
meant from my beard and long hair and rugged mannish charm.
Well, you do look like an extra in like the Jedi Council for sure.
Derek, if it makes you feel any better, I thought the same thing you thought. I thought that's what he was talking about, your mannish charm and your beard.
And all those shows that I did that took place in the 70s.
I feel like I'm like a 1990s radio host where everything I'm saying is trying to be really mean.
What is the 1990s radio? What is like Howard Stern?
It's like I'm Fort Boy with Cash Cow, and we're gonna beat you up in the morning with our verbal assaults. Whack whack, like stuff like that. 90s
that still exists.
that hasn't ended.
That's just radio.
Well,
Yeah,
maybe
it still
my
exists.
family stopped listening to radio after the 90s because we were like, there's like better stuff. Like,
No, every once in a while I turn on a real actual radio, and if it's between certain hours, then it's that.
Yeah, like Z100 when they like do the prank phone calls on people.
Corn Cob and the Boner.
wait, I just found the most amazing quote from the Nicholas Hammond, the guy who played Spider-Man. He said, "When I was offered this role, I told them, I don't want this to be campy or cliche like other superhero movies. I want this to be original and have depth." And then he said, and the movie gave it justice. Did anything about that movie trailer look like it wasn't cliche or campy?
Well, it definitely did not have what I would call depth.
Well,
Yeah, but also like we're judging the trailers. We're judging the book by its trailer, so
Yeah, that's true.
that
This
was
is a
my
long time
same
ago.
point about like that's probably a TV spot for that,
Yeah. Just as we have to accept the racism of the 40s, 70s TV just wasn't so hot.
Looks so bad. It looked like those ugly like the like green toilet seats your grandma has, and just like
I actually really like the weird 70s house stuff.
just
I love a
orange
wood
vomit
nothing
in one of those
and
green egg toilets.
green vomit and wooden toilet seats. I love
a wooden toilet seat. If I can't get a splinter from your toilet, it's a toilet I don't want. You know what I'm saying?
The bad decor I think is good. People like the bad cheesy 70s stuff. I mean, just like
You're preaching to the
how-
choir here.
Preaching to the choir.
But I will like because it's like making live shows that take place in the 1970s have been what I've been doing for like 2 years. So like I fully appreciate all of that, but it will also be the first to say that they're fuck ugly. Am I allowed to say fuck on a podcast?
Fuck,
Not
shit,
anymore.
They're
cunt,
absolutely
bitch.
fuck ugly. Ass.
Oh man.
Please just cut off the episode with me going ass.
And on that note, we are all done with the reviews of original, old school movie trailers for superhero movies, and it was a lot of fun. We learned a lot about the time, and I felt like we really traveled back in time. But that's all the time for us, and thank you so much for listening, Knuckleheads. I hope you're all safe and sound wherever you are.